Welcome to another episode of Grassroots Racer, everyone. Last week it was great catching up to Ben from Paste Images to look at another side of racing. And this week I once again speak to someone who isn't in the driver's seat, but she provides to support drivers, parents and race teams through her online coaching courses and programs about fitness, sports nutrition, mental preparation, sponsorship services, and helping you build your brand on social media, as well as having her own podcast and being an FIA Girls on Track ambassador. So with that, it's a big welcome to Belinda Risley from MotiV8 Training. How are you, Belinda?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you? Thank you for having me on the show.
I'm really good, Belinda, and it's great to have you on tonight. So let's chat about how did you get into motorsport?
I'm a middle child of two brothers, but my father was a competitor and he used to import go-karts. And so I pretty much spent my life at the go-kart track growing up around Australia. My older brother is 11 years older than me, so by the time he was right into it, I was born. I was actually nearly born at Oran Park Raceway. My mother's borders actually broke there, so it was give or take trying to get back.
Do I want to stay at the track? Do I want to go to the hospital?
Right, exactly.
You obviously were involved in the motorsport paddock growing up. So did that give you the motivation to start MotiV8 Training? And why do you want to help people in motorsport?
Yeah, so I was always into sports and fitness, and I actually played soccer competitively, and I wanted to be a legal secretary. And so I left school to study to be a legal secretary, and I was playing soccer, and I couldn't always make training, and so I had to go to the gym. When I was at the gym, they said, get a personal trainer. So I did. And then I keep asking, why do I do this? And why am I doing that exercise? And why am I doing this? And my trainer just said, look, why don't you actually just go into the course? And so back then, 20 odd years ago, it was just a 6-week course. So at 16 years of age, I went and did my personal training course. And part of that was that we had to choose a niche. And so I chose motorsport drivers. And just been doing that ever since.
So I did say earlier that you were the FIA Girls on Track ambassador. Can you tell me a bit more about that program and how you're involved?
Yeah, it's a fantastic international program. It's for girls from 8 to now 18 years. And basically it's just a program that's held at various racetracks throughout the year. And we give the girls an insight into what it's like to be involved in motorsport. So there's a STEM program, we do a fitness component, we also generally do some media training and have different activities on the day. It's either through the schools or people can individually register to come and participate. It's just a few hours and they get a goodie bag and a t-shirt and participation. But the idea is obviously to get women involved in motorsports and to try and get them not addicted, but obviously to show general interest and with the school groups, obviously to try and get them to choose their curriculum around the idea of doing some STEMs or mechanical work going forward, or journalism, or business management, admin, marketing, all of those kind of things.
Yeah, so I saw Ferrari do a program with the girls who did a competition, and I think it was the quickest and best one got a academy seat. So that was really good on Ferrari's half. In your experience, there has been some obstacles, and what's some of the biggest challenges for women in motorsport to overcome?
Again, I think the industry is still old school, so there's a lot of obviously males being involved in the industry, so their mentality is still about females, what do they know around a car or around the sport or around the industry. So we are trying to put those barriers down by doing things like Girls on Track, and there's a lot of race teams at different various of categories having women involved. There's a lot of scholarships that's going around, lots of work experience, and so it's just about trying to say to the guys, hey, we love this sport just as much as you do and would love to get involved.
Yeah, I think it's really good having women involved in motorsports, and there's now women involved being head strategist in Formula One. There's many drivers, as we probably know, 𝘕𝘓𝘬𝘁𝘍𝑒, who used to race in V8 supercars, now races in America and in Europe. So she's doing very well. And there's some in F2 and F3. So there's lots of women getting around the motorsport paddock, which I believe is really good. Some people might not know though, I have been ambassador for MotiV8 Training for a couple years now, and it's a great way to network with other drivers and teams. What have you found being the biggest benefit of creating this supportive networking community?
It's just that it's giving everybody a platform to learn from each other. We have a range of ambassadors for different categories within motorsport, so from speedway, from dirt to track to rally to circuit racing, and just for everybody to kind of to learn from one another around their challenges that they've endured, whether it's being a one-off event for the year that they participate in, whether it's speedway that doesn't get the TV coverage as much as the other like circuit racing does, education around about the different categories and what they all kind of mean to the general public, and so from a sponsorship perspective, but also giving you guys the opportunity to make those internal networks. And so then if you are looking to go up to a different category or to try a different vehicle, that you've already got that connection.
Yeah, it's very true, and I definitely believe, that it's important that we need to network and, be friendly with the other teams and drivers. There's been a lot of things that you've done to help me and Mum. Have you found for younger motorsport athletes that helping parents has been just as valuable as helping the athletes?
Yes, most definitely. Being 8 or 8 to kind of 16 even years of age, it's very hard to get your head around, what is sponsorship and what is social media. You can't even be on some platforms until you are at least 13. And, trying to work out content, trying to get yourself exposure, trying to build yourself a brand, like those are all kind of like over the top things. So it's really important to have your parents involved as well. For us, like motorsport is a business, and there's lots of people involved in the process of getting you onto the track. It's not so much just the driver, like you've got to have your mechanics, your engineers, mum and dad to drive you there. So it is very much about educating everybody around their roles and responsibilities within a race team.
Yes, I guess with that, you've helped a lot of people, and like you just explained about all the things MotiV8 does. What is your ultimate vision for MotiV8 Training?
Yeah, we want to be like the one-stop education centre. So for parents, competitors, race teams, clubs, ideally that there's one-stop shop. They can come to us, and we do that whole holistic approach to racing. We've got a load of resources, whether they're PDFs. We do have free resources available, so at any time feel free to race to motivatetraining.com.au/resources. There's a load of free resources there, from podcasts to PDFs, checklists to ebooks that you can just instantly download. There's no having to fill in any forms as such to get that information, but really to build a membership and a site where people are looking for information to get started in motorsports. It is one of those sports, if you actually type in how do I get fit for racing, it is very much aligned with individual personal trainers or like personal trainers that are international. It's not so much like swimming, where they've got a one governing body. Unfortunately, here in Australia, we do have Motorsports Australia, but we don't all form under Motorsports Australia. So there are different associations that you can get involved in, and so it's hard just to try and to get that information out to everybody. So ideally, just having that one spot that everyone can come, especially for the grassroots racer.
Yeah, like you just said then, giving out information. I also know you have a really great podcast. We've spoken to lots of different people, and you talk about some of the training that you do, and you talk to drivers about what we're doing, having a bit of a chat and talking about what they do. So what have you most enjoyed about doing podcasts?
I love hearing about everybody's story. So everyone's got a story to tell, and like that's the number one rule we talk about in PR, trying to get your brand out there, is just to tell your story. And you've had the initiative to start this Grassroots Racer series, which is fantastic. But until you get started, you don't know what's out there. And I keep saying to all of you guys over and over again is that you're living a lot of people's dreams. And so the fact that you can bring that to their screens or their social media platforms, they get really excited about that, because again, they don't have that opportunity or the money or the want or the know-how to get started in motorsport. So everyone's got a story to tell, and you can always learn from one another, whether it's how they got into the sport, what are they doing, how are they getting sponsorship, how they're nurturing the sponsors, what are they doing in social media, how are they training. We can always learn from one another. So on the Motorsport Coaching Podcast, as it is a coaching podcast, we ideally have a whole range of industry professionals as well as driver profiles, so you can learn from different people within the sport, and they're not always the big names, because that's not our demographic. Our demographic really is around about that grassroots motorsport competitor, so those that are getting started and they're wanting to learn. So yes, we sometimes interview some of the big name drivers, but it's more like about what's their journey to how they got to where they are today, and what kind of things have they done around fitness, their nutrition, their mindset. How have they gone from doing sponsorship from when they started in karting to maybe where they are in supercars, or maybe now they're racing internationally, has their sponsorship partnerships changed, or has their strategy changed and across that. So again, the coaching podcast is always trying to give someone some learning principles that they can take away out of each show.
Yeah, right now saying, well, that sounds great. How can I listen? Well, how can they, Belinda?
Yeah, so it's available on most podcasts. So Apple, Spotify, Podcast Bean, pretty much everywhere except for Podcast One, which I don't even know how to get onto that one. But anyway, we'll also have a Facebook page called Motorsport Coaching Podcast, which is really easy. And it's also a link on our website at MotiV8Training.com.au/podcast. So they go out every Thursday night at 6 o'clock. And they're generally uploaded to all of those platforms on Friday morning.
Yeah, so that's very good. And I guess I'm going to steal from what you said before. If you are heading to the track on a Friday or you're practicing there, you can listen to them. I guess they're very relaxing, because I like to listen to podcasts when I go to bed. It's just a bit of background noise, and I normally put on MotiV8 podcasts when they're on. So it's a good thing to listen, and then you can also learn from the MotiV8 podcasts. You also have lots of different social media platforms. Where can people find all the services that you offer, so they can access all the information?
Yeah, we're a new website coming up as the 1st of July. We've kind of gone on a different plan thanks to COVID over the last 18 months, and us being located in Victoria, have not had much racing over that 14-month period, as you are involved as well. And so now we're going to be targeting a lot more of the clubs and the race teams, and getting involved with them and trying to help them value add to their clients and into their race teams. So that's July 1, and that's MotiV8Training.com.au. We also have our main Facebook page, which is at MotiV8T. But the real exciting thing is that we do have 2 free Facebook groups. So if you are interested in athlete performance, we have a Facebook group called Motorsport Athletes. So just simply Google that, or go to our main page and then look down at our groups, and that's where we cover subjects such as fitness, nutrition and mindset. And then our second group is called Motorsport Sponsorship, and in that's where we kind of focus on things like obviously sponsorship, social media, media training, public relations, and generally having conversations around about being an influencer, being an ambassador, anything that kind of falls under that career development side of things. And we're also on LinkedIn and on Instagram. So we do have different content on the Facebook page and the Instagram. Our Facebook content is more around for parents, knowing kind of what services we have, and Instagram's more like for the drivers and for the athletes to see, hey, what's happening in our world and what's new.
Yeah, so that's really good to hear. So everyone, that's the social media, and like she just said, with the Facebook groups and what you can learn from MotiV8 Training. So just MotiV8T on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks so much for speaking to me tonight, Belinda. It's been great, and I highly recommend anyone getting involved in motorsport who wants to improve their performance or need help with sponsorship, go check out their website. Hopefully I get to meet up with you on the real track soon, and thanks for all the help so far that you've been supporting with me and my racing. Thanks to everyone for supporting Grassroots Racer and watching tonight, and good luck to anyone who's out on the track this weekend. And remember, drive fast and take chances.
Thanks, everyone.